Merry Christmas to you, Uncle, and God save you. Bah! Humbug.
One of my favorite movies growing up as a child was The Christmas Carol, and I just loved that movie. I would rent it from the video store even if it wasn't Christmas, because I just love it. It's a story of redemption. It's a story about a guy who's just mean as can be, totally lost, but then he gets a second chance.
By the time he was 21, Munday Martin was in desperate need of his own second chance.
That was the stage in my life where I was like the most depressed, you know, most miserable, and just didn't know how to get out of that.
Munday had spent most of his youth searching for an identity.
In my teen years, I sought to try to fit in to the church I was going to, the school I was going to, and I just was such a creative person. You know, I loved my own individuality. I was kind of the weirdo of the bunch, you know, the freak, and, you know, people would even call me that.
Being the odd man out was difficult for Munday, and he did whatever he could to escape that reality.
I started using drugs and alcohol at the age of 15, and, you know, marijuana was like a gateway drug that led to me experimenting with many other drugs. And I'll tell you what, if we didn't have money to buy pot or to buy LSD, we would find household chemicals. You'd always wake up with a terrible headache and just a terrible feeling in your heart, like, what's happening to me? Why am I doing this to myself? A lot of times, like, the cold, hard facts and truth would just stare me right down in the face, like, what is going on with you?
But that cold, hard truth wasn't enough to help Munday kick his self-destructive habits. In fact, his addiction and depression grew worse.
At the age of 21, I actually walked in on my girlfriend cheating on me, and my heart was just devastated. I mean, all that I had, you know, everything that I was hoping for that would bring me happiness suddenly just ended.
Later that night, Munday passed out after several hours of heavy drinking. What happened next amazed and frightened Munday to his core.
All of a sudden, I fall asleep, and I'm in another place. And I was standing in this long line, this single file line, and I knew this is the final judgment. And you can't imagine the fear that started to set in, because I realized, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready for this. So this line was going to two doorways, and one doorway led to heaven, the other doorway led to hell. And I saw people being condemned forever, or I saw people being saved forever based on if they had received Jesus or not.
When Munday reached the front of the line, he received his verdict.
This uncontrollable force began to pull me out of that line into the doorway that was leading to hell, and there was nothing I could do about it. I began crying out in this line, and I was just saying, God, please give me another chance. And I just remember saying that, you know, and right when I said that, suddenly this force broke off of me. And I felt like, you got another chance, buddy. But I went back in that line, and the same person that had just condemned me to eternity away from God suddenly looked at me and he said, you were here before, weren't you? And he was like joking with me as if I was now his brother or something. And he goes, we had you mixed up with an old man before named Ebenezer.
No, Spirit, no. I'll not be the man I was.
That reference to the Charles Dickens story spoke volumes to Munday.
For God to tell me that, he was, you know, speaking to me and saying, hey, just as in the story where Ebenezer Scrooge had a visitation in the night and was given another chance, you're having a visitation in the night, and I'm giving you another chance. And so it was so powerful. So every time I see the Christmas Carol now, I cry my eyes out, because I feel just like that man, a changed person, only by the power of God, though.
A few days later, Munday gave his life to Jesus Christ.
That is the point in my life where surrender seemed like a beautiful thing, where it didn't before.
With Christ leading him, Munday found the strength to fight his addictions.
I just stopped doing drugs. I stopped drinking alcohol. Overnight, God began to just clean out the stuff that was detrimental to my health and to my, you know, physically, emotionally, mentally, and put me on a pathway after him. So I started reading, you know, the Gospel of John, and it was like words would jump out of the Bible, you know, and I felt overcome with, God is actually a Father who loves me, you know, and I think there's a lot of people out there that don't know that.
Ever since his transformation 10 years ago, Christmas for Munday has never been the same. He's also happily married and the father of 2 children.
People out there are tormented thinking they can't get free from addictions, from bondage, but I'm here to say God can touch anybody. There's no one, there's nothing that you can turn to that can take away your pain, and a God of love can, and He can not only do that, but He'll make you a new person.